So I reckon let's get started. I think people will join us as we go, but as I said, this session will be recorded. So if you do have to run off for donor meetings or for coffee or for children, whatever you need, then don't worry, you can listen back. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for joining me this morning to hear about the Power of Sales Fundraising and the launch of our new research, which is super exciting. I am Veronica Bamford-Dean, Managing Director of Work for Good, and I've got the lovely Lauren Ludlow here, who is our Charity Engagement Manager as well, and she'll be fielding more questions later on. I have worked in the charity sector for over 10 years now, including within fundraising at Save the Children and also running the small military charity Tickets for Troops. And now as Managing Director of Work for Good, I and my small team get to work every day with many wonderful fundraisers, helping them to maximise sales fundraising and raise more income. And so far to date, we've helped them raise a wonderful £2 million. So it really is a great feeling. We do genuinely love our jobs, working with everybody. I'm really pleased to welcome you all today. It's great to see some familiar faces, but actually names. Carmen, great to see you, and Tim and everyone else. But for those of you that don't know Work for Good, we are a fundraising platform and we make sales fundraising easy and possible for charities and businesses. Since we launched 4 years ago, we've worked with over 4,000 businesses and charities and enabled over 6,000 fundraising campaigns and helped charities, as I just said, raise over £2 million. And there's also a further £1 million currently pledged in fundraising campaigns. It's a really, really exciting time for sales fundraising. And today I want to demonstrate the value and opportunity that lies ahead of all of us to really help you maximise your charity's income. I will be looking at the small business landscape and the supporter group opportunity, the sustainable value of sales fundraising, the benefits of combining small business supporterships with traditional corporate partnerships, and I'm also going to give you many examples from charities who are already maximising sales fundraising to raise more income. There'll be an opportunity at the end for you to ask questions. And following this session, either Lauren or my colleague Kim will send you a copy of our exciting new research, Unlock the Power of Sales Fundraising, which you can share with your colleagues so you will have all the information you need to maximise your sales fundraising in your charity. Now, sales fundraising is everywhere. Look online in your favourite local shops and perhaps even your kitchen cupboards to see which businesses are already taking part. So currently in my house, it's in my kitchen. Actually, technically, it's not in my kitchen, it's here. But 1p from my eggs are being donated to the Woodland Trust. It's also in my bathroom. 50% of profits from my Who Gives a Crap blue roll going to building toilets. And it's also in my handbag. £1 from the face mask I recently bought was donated to UNICEF UK. However, the biggest question is, are you taking part? Is your charity allowing sales fundraising? Are you welcoming business supporters who want to support your charity in a sustainable way for both you and them through their business? Now, I'd love to take a little measure of this. Who is and who isn't at the moment taking part in sales fundraising in some way? Please, could you pop in a quick, yes, we are, or no, we're not, or no idea what you're talking about, or depends on the situation, just in the chat. Just get a little idea. There's no right or wrong answer as well. Oh, lots of yeses and a little no. No, but maybe. Oh gosh, they're going too fast. I can't even keep track. But excellent, good, positive feeling. And even the not at present or the fact that you're on this call, that's a great opportunity because you can obviously see that there's something there in the future. So last year, over 60% more small businesses sales fundraised with Work for Good than in 2020. They were able to fundraise through their sales, choosing a percentage or fixed value of their sales of a specific product or service, or all of their sales. Like all your supporters, business owners like to be able to choose how to give in ways that work for them and their business, which delivers both impact for the charity and also makes business sense. It's basic unit economics. The business sells, they raise a donation. Equally, embedding charitable giving into their day-to-day work helps them stand out in their market, and their customers also know that they are contributing to good causes when they're making their purchases. In 2021, we saw sales fundraising rise as an income stream for many charities who were offering this as a mechanism for supporters. In fact, there was a 71% increase in the number of campaigns compared to 2020. Tommy's has received over £90,000 from small businesses since joining Work for Good back in November 2019. And sales fundraising has allowed Rosie, the head of corporate partnerships, and her team to transform the way they work with small businesses. I was actually just chatting to her the other week, and she was telling me that the biggest benefit they have found whilst being able to raise sustainable, reliable and steady income is the time that they have saved. Refuge have raised over £85,000 since 2020 and have almost 100 small businesses supporting them. For them, one of the added benefits of sales fundraising has been that thousands more people have become aware of Refuge's services and issues surrounding domestic violence. This is because businesses supporting Refuge have talked to their customers and communities about their fundraising and their impact. And a third example from Mine, they rejoined Work for Good in August last year, having decided they needed a supporter-friendly way to engage their sales fundraisers and better manage this growing supporter group. Over £80,000 has been pledged and donated from over 90 businesses so far. So if charities like Mind, Refuge and Tommy's are looking at small businesses more as supporterships rather than partnerships, I think the question is, could your charity too? And let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Small businesses make up 99% of businesses in the UK. They bring in over half of UK turnover, which is £2.3 trillion, and they contribute to 3/5 of employment. Now, remember that the size of a business is measured on the number of employees it has rather than its income size like charities. So when we talk about small businesses, and in particular in relation to sales fundraising, there's nothing necessarily in the small definition that is referring to income. So to give you some more context of the potential market out there that's really ready to be unlocked by us, there are 5.5 million small businesses in the UK, and that means they've got 0 to 49 employees. There are just over 35,000 medium-sized businesses, which have 50 to 249 employees, and just over 7,500 large businesses with 250 or more employees. Now, some of you may know the lovely Andy King of Remarkable Partnerships. He shared some quite interesting analogy recently, but for every charity registered in the UK, there are approximately 30 registered companies. Now, can you imagine every single charity in the UK having 30 company partners? And that's before anyone starts sharing. Yet so often fundraisers are finding themselves fighting over the same 100 companies, exhausting themselves and the companies thereafter. So now it's time to focus on this 99%. Small businesses also include startups, which is a business venture no more than 3 to 5 years old, founded by one or more entrepreneurs to develop a unique product or service and bring it to market, just like us. Sounds a little bit familiar. Startups can be very exciting and present a fantastic opportunity. As they grow, charities can develop strategic partnerships and a loyal supporter. Some of the most successful recent UK startups include Bloom & Wild, Deliveroo and Monzo, and there are so many more. I'm sure many of you are partnered with some already. However, it's important to consider what the impact is of not working with these innovative startups from inception. Is it a missed opportunity? Could it be a lost commercial or strategic partnership in the future? A potential loyal supporter that's now likely to put their loyalties elsewhere. Many small businesses owners are displaying similar traits to individual regular givers by putting their personal motives and loyalties at the heart of their giving. We see at Work for Good this loyalty reflected with businesses, and in 2021, 86% of businesses donated to the same charity. And don't forget, as a business grows, so does their lifetime value. So by allowing businesses to support you earlier on in their journey, you can not only watch them give as they grow and benefit along the way, but with the right nurturing, and by that I really don't mean a full-blown partnership, this increased giving may become, later in the day, a 5-figure partnership over time. Now, this is where I'd like you to start thinking about sales fundraising, particularly with small businesses, more like a supportership rather than a corporate partnership. An opportunity to welcome the support of businesses without feeling the need to provide all the bells and whistles. I'll come back to this in a little moment. Last year, we found that 34% of businesses who donated were micro, with 2 to 9 employees, and 56% of businesses were sole traders. Now, sole trader run businesses are the owners, the founders, and the sole individuals behind the business. They are also the decision makers and the drivers of their business strategy and income. Supporting a charity is a personal choice, as we all know. And when a business owner gives to charity through their business sales, they're not only able to give back to a charity which they care about, but they're also able to demonstrate their personal values to their customers and clients. And also remember the impact of brand awareness. Consumers are so much more savvy and curious these days. That's you and me. So not only are we evaluating the business for their values, founder story, and ethics of products and services, but we will also buy into this. And in this, with buying in comes brand awareness. And with consumer brand awareness comes more support for your charity. On average, in 2021, £656 was donated per business, which is a 4% increase on the average donation of 2020. What makes this really interesting, though, is that findings from the CAF UK Giving Report last year shared that the average monthly donation from an individual was £49, which indicates a business could give on average £5 more per month if they donate through their business sales. So, taking a step back, the textbook question is, as a corporate or community fundraiser who's here today, do you know, and please put in the chat some answers to this, do you know how many of your charities, individual donors, own, run, or work for a small business? Or perhaps even your volunteer base? Is it even something you might have considered before? And if the answer is no, do not panic, there's plenty of time. But actually what this does provide is a really, really exciting opportunity to tap into your individual giving support base and work with your colleagues. Now, I'm not suggesting for you to reinvent the wheel, but how can you think differently and challenge what you're already doing well as a charity? Working with your individual giving team could definitely be a start. Remember, supporters do not see your organisation in teams trying to meet individual budgets. They see your charity as one. And if they're able to increase their donations to you because you have offered them a better and more efficient way to raise funds for you, I expect that these smart business people will be keen to explore this idea. Now, we all know the hardest work and expense comes from finding new supporters. So why not maximise the full potential of your current supporters? And when a new individual comes on board, make sure you know more about them so you can apply a holistic approach to their stewardship. Right, I've mentioned the word supportership a little bit, and yes, maybe it's a little bit of a phrase I've coined, but I quite like it. A supportership is less complex, less scary than a traditional corporate partnership, but it still provides considerable returns through donations, support to loyalty, and brand awareness. Here's a great example for you. Plum and Ashby launched a candle for Baby Loss Awareness Week to raise funds for Tommies last year. With support of UK influencers, they reached thousands of people via social media, raising awareness of baby loss, and in less than 4 days, it sold out, and they raised over £34,000 for Tommies. We know small businesses, just like many fundraisers, are likely to be time poor. And the fact that with this, that they're still wanting to raise money in a sustainable way for you and for their business, of course, alongside all the other hundreds of tasks that they have to think about, is the type of intention we really want to be nurturing. And fundraising through their sales is a really efficient and effective way for them to do this. The lovely Eloise from Children on the Edge, and I'm afraid I haven't seen if Eloise is here yet, but if you are, Eloise, say hi. She recently shared with us that she had a lovely conversation with the founder of a small jewellery business who was so impressed that she could just arrange all the legal necessities in just a minute. Hi, Eloise. The business owner has worked on other CPAs with lots of different larger charities in the past for her sales fundraising, and she found the whole process very overwhelming. What Eloise shared with us was that the most important thing as a fundraiser was to make sure that her donor could give in a way that was easy and simple and enable her to get closer to her purpose more quickly. Similarly, I would like to bet the majority of small businesses don't want full-blown partnerships with you, but they do want to continue to support you, just like this example from Eloise. And I'm pretty sure, and this comes to the Apple bite size, this does not include needing a 10-page report every quarter. So rest assured that supporterships don't include this. But perhaps you could share a bite-sized newsletter update, because small businesses really do care what you're doing, and they'll read information that's being shared by you. Now you're going to ask me, well, how do I know this? Is that just an assumption? It's not. We've got the evidence here. 86% of businesses last year opted into hearing from charities, which is incredibly high for a marketing opt-in rate. It is absolutely integral, and I really want to emphasize the integralness, is that even a word? Integrality of this, but particularly in our current economic climate and the cost of living crisis very much on our doorsteps, that we do offer as much support as possible to those who want to support us. It is incredible that businesses still want to give. Yes, it might mean doing things in a slightly different way and opening your doors to a new supporter group, but that's okay. Remember, with change comes progress and opportunities. So if you consider that your charity wouldn't turn away an individual donor who wanted to donate £20 or £30 per month, then surely it would be wise to apply this psychology to business givers as well. What we do know as a sector is that we are really good at acquiring and stewarding individual donors via supporter journeys and giving platforms. So it's kind of a bit of a no-brainer that we must be more flexible and accommodating to businesses and have a similar processes in place for them. And it's not just us at Work for Good who's saying this. Savanta's latest research on the most loved charity brands recognise a couple of key charity trends for 2022, which included charities developing different partnerships with businesses to diversify income, and also increased investment and an innovative approach to online fundraising due to its cost effectiveness and efficiency. I read an excellent LinkedIn post from the lovely Laura Howley at Great Ormond Street Hospital last week. Laura, are you here? Say hello if you are. Who summed this up so nicely. She was talking about the value of micro donations, or as she said, if you're feeling fancy, micro philanthropy, which I love. But whichever terminology you'd like to use, what does it mean? So it's a form of charitable donation that is small in nature, but has a multiplier effect, and therefore a multiplier of impact when made in volume. Now, Great Ormond Street Hospital have over 30 businesses who've supported them through sales fundraising and Work for Good. They've raised over £50,000 in donations in current campaigns. So them really getting behind this micro philanthropy is coming out in dividends at the moment. We speak to hundreds of fundraisers, and one of the common themes is the assumption of the return of investment of a small business partnership. Fundraising teams are challenged to bring in the biggest and most fruitful partnerships. We understand that. It makes total business sense. But what doesn't make business sense is not considering the wider impact of the return of investment that small businesses can offer, and fundamentally turning away much needed charitable income. Now, I've already mentioned the size of the market. If we know that there are just over 7,500 large businesses in the UK, and we also know that there are over 160,000 registered UK charities, we know that the competition for the most renowned corporate partnerships is fierce. So let's just use the red v blue ocean analogy here. Red oceans are all the industries in existence today. So they are the known market space, where industry boundaries are defined and companies try to outperform their rivals to grab a greater share of the existing market. So highly competitive competition turns the ocean bloody red, hence the term red oceans. So in context, the big corporate partnerships like Tesco, Sainsbury's, Aviva, Morrison's, Lloyds, NatWest, some of them you might have already. However, blue oceans represent all the industries not in existence today. It's an unknown market. It's unexplored, it's untainted by competition. So like the blue ocean, it is a vast, deep and powerful space. And in terms of opportunity and profitable growth, it is huge. So in this instance, and in relation to sales fundraising, Corporate partnerships are the red ocean and small business supporterships are the blue. And we all know what happens in a vast, deep and powerful ocean. There is a vast abundance of beautiful sea life and a huge amount of opportunity, just the same as small businesses. So, taking a step back, what does this mean in practice? We need to be harnessing the appetite to give and allow supporters to give in ways that work for them and for you. And this is where we help at Work for Good. Our platform makes sales fundraising easy and possible. We can help you create sustainable income, grow your supporter base. We save you valuable time and thousands of pounds in legal costs. And we protect your charities and the business's reputation by ensuring you have the right legal agreement in place for sales fundraising to mitigate issues such as those that we saw sadly in the media last week with the gym company and the Captain Tom Moore Foundation. We do this all by offering a simple form for businesses to create their commercial participation agreements with you and get them ready to start their fundraising in minutes. You'll be able to find lots more information in the Unlock the Power of Fundraising research that we'll send you following this. And of course, if you'd like to explore how Work for Good can help your charity, please book a call in with my lovely colleague Kim or with Lauren, and we'll share a link to her Doodle calendar in the chat. Or if you're already a member, Lauren is always here ready to speak to you. We're going to send this over a little later on. Please do check your spam folder, and if it does end up there, I promise it's not spam, but it is us. So do just send us an email and we'll try and get it to you in a different way. But for now, I'd like to offer you the opportunity to ask any questions you might have. And thank you very much for listening. I hope it's been helpful. Oh, thank you, Chloe. Always nice to have a testimonial, so that's super. Has anyone got any questions? Yes, Shani, non-UK businesses can use Work for Good in terms of their donation and actually making those payments over to us and then to you. They just have to do it in a slightly different way using IBAN numbers, but we provide that for them at point of transaction.
Vicky has asked a question. She's asked, what are some great examples you've seen of how a charity can steward Work for Good supporters?
Vicky, I think you are the answer to your question. So something that you have been doing, and also a number of other charities, is actually really celebrating the way that businesses are supporting. So whether that's via social media or acknowledging them in your newsletter, but just giving those little touch points of saying thank you for the work that they're doing. Because not only is it a recognition for them as a business, but it is also a way to inspire other businesses to support you. So keep doing what you're doing, little recognitions here and there. We also, as Work for Good, we do send thank you emails and messages as soon as a business makes their donation. So that pops up with some digital confetti that comes down, a personalised message from you too.
Robert has asked, any tips on getting your first business to sign up?
Oh, well, I'm not really the right person to give you tips. You've got all these lovely people in the chat too. No, I'm joking. So yes, absolutely. Be open. Be really open. And I think what's the main thing is, number one, if you're going to use Work for Good, it's not about Work for Good. It's about your supporters and their sales fundraising. Find out what is important to them, how they might be able to support you, and also think about the tangibility. Like I've spoken a little bit about the sustainability of sales fundraising as an income stream, but actually it does make business sense. So I think it's about being very transparent with the business, finding out more about the business and how they sell or their products or services, and then seeing if they can give in just a little way to you through their sales. And also just offering them that opportunity to, you might give them a little bit of recognition through social media or an announcement in your newsletter, but that's not a definite, and that's not a necessity.
Shani has asked, what is the vetting process for businesses and what control does the charity have over this?
Excellent question. So the vetting process, or the due diligence. So when a business signs up, and they do so just through our website, but also using the form you can see to the left. So the business will fill into that form how they're going to be fundraising for you. At point of setting up their donation, we will send you a notification And it is your responsibility and totally down to you to do any due diligence you'd like on the business. And if for whatever reason you don't want them to support you, you just have to let us know, and then we'll have that conversation with the business and ask them to redirect their support somewhere else. So you have entire control. You know, at Work for Good, we don't want to play God and decide who can and who cannot support you. We work with over 1,200 charities, so that would almost be impossible because everyone has a slightly different process as well and procedure. So I hope that might be helpful.
We've had a couple of questions regarding GDPR and how charities can contact small businesses as well.
Sure. So I mentioned the marketing opt-in earlier. So if a business has opted in to hearing from you, which they do through the donations form, you can see that sort of about just over 2/3 of the way down. Would you like to hear from your chosen charity? That's actually populated by saying your charity's name. Then we will provide to you the name of the business owner and also their email address, so you can contact them. If, however, they haven't opted into marketing to hear from you directly, then you do still have the option to include a thank you message on your profile and your account, which comes up when the business pays a donation to you. And I think what's really important about this, and this is something I was discussing with a fundraiser recently, is not all businesses and not all donors do want to hear. And I think what is really nice is this gives them the choice to opt in to hearing from you. So one, you're being able to liaise with the businesses who do want to hear from you and make sure that your data and your support data is really clean, so you're not wasting your time and your resource. But also, if a business just wants to support you without having any further communications, that is still okay. I don't know about you, but I don't opt out of marketing emails from charities, but I do opt out of marketing emails from a lot of businesses. I just don't have the time to read them, so it's a personal choice.
Great. And we've also had a question from Lucy asking what are the fees for using Work for Good?
Sure. So we deduct 5% of donations. So on a monthly basis, we will aggregate all of your donations. We will deduct the 5% and then we'll pay them over to you on the first working day of the following month.
And we've also had another question in saying, can charities control donation sizes?
I'm afraid not. No, it is a question we're asked irregularly, but sometimes. No, one of the important things about how we work is that we want to encourage businesses to give as they grow. So that could be as little as £5, it could be as much as £50,000, it could be further than that. But we know within your charities as well, you do have those thresholds. So we don't want to duplicate that effort. We want to enable your supporters to have that accessibility to support you. So I'm afraid not.
And we've also had a question in from Debbie asking, are we doing any focused marketing to crypto companies? They said that they've had 2 organisations supporting them recently and it's a huge market.
Thank you very much, Debbie, for your question. We are not doing any direct marketing to crypto companies, tongue twister today. However, you can. So the idea of Work for Good is, yes, we absolutely do market to business networks and we do encourage businesses to give and inspire the business community to think about sales fundraising along with their products and service sales. However, what we have found at Work for Good is actually we've created this product that is really a tool for you and all the different resources, and the resources you can find online. If you go to the For Charities section, and there's a toolkit for you to go out to your supporters. So totally to encourage crypto companies is a good idea, and you're absolutely right, it is growing. We've had quite a few crypto companies sign up to Work for Good, supporting different charities as well. 2 picked us up by Work for Good. Excellent. That's a win. So probably just as a quick mention on that, looking at kind of how we work as a business, about 75% of businesses come directly through other charities. I think sort of 56% of people on this call already use Work for Good, come from charities who are really embracing sales fundraising as a way to diversify income. But about 25% also come organically because obviously of our SEO, also your profiles are on the website, so that brings in supporters. So I'm really pleased to see that both of them have come in organically. Debbie, that's a good win.
I've just got one last question in from Chloe asking, how do cryptocurrency companies give via Work for Good?
Sure, God, you're good. It's real questions on cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not an expert and I'm not going to pretend to be at all, but what they do is they translate the cryptocurrency into cash. So they don't give via crypto, they give via cash. And that is how it works with us at the moment. Currently, we're not looking to develop a product so that they can give in crypto. I think there are other products that do that in the market. But yes, in terms of translating the currency into cash donation, and then we would send this over to you, Chloe.
Perfect. I think we've got time for one last question, which just popped in from Ashani, which is this only available for UK-based charities?
Thanks, Ishani. UK registered charities. So you could be likely that you're based in the UK, the registered company and registered charity, but you can be working overseas as well. Wonderful. Thank you so much for all your questions, everybody, and also for spending the time with us this morning. I really appreciate it. What we will do, we will send you the research straight after this. It will come from one of us, and obviously please feel free to get in touch at any point with lovely Lauren, myself, Kim, or any of the team. There are only a few of us. Connect with us on LinkedIn. Also, the lovely Laura Howley, who I don't know if it came or she didn't, but she did say if anyone's interested in hearing about Work for Good and experiences, please feel free to get in touch with her. And yeah, ask us away. We're here to help you as much as possible. So good luck with your fundraising, and hope you have a good rest of your day.